Hey guys, and welcome to the third part of the series of how God delivered me from homosexuality. In the second part, I spoke a bit about the time that I went through talking to many people, trying to find answers to certain questions that I had. But after weeks of misery, I just couldn't take it anymore, and I just took it to God and left it at His feet and asked Him to fight this battle for me. After that time, there was still like a few questions hanging around that I really wanted answers to, and I just asked God to please just give me the answers, just give me some guidance, lead me in the right direction for the answers to these questions, because I just couldn't get them out. Loads of the other questions that I had, they literally just disappeared. They didn't matter anymore. But there was like 3-4 questions that was like just hanging around. I was like, I really want answers to this. So the first one was that, okay, just for some background, I used to believe that I was born that way. And after that night that I gave my life to God, I joined a church. God sent an amazing church my way, and I'm so thankful for that. Just for some background. So the first question that I had was, if I'm born this way, why is it wrong? If I'm not born this way, why am I like this? So we see with the creation that God makes us in His image. Now, God is perfect. God is almighty, and He doesn't make mistakes. So with that, He just showed me that I didn't make you this way. So I was like, okay, if I'm not born this way, then why am I like this? And also another question that was like hanging around there was just like, if God is love, why am I not allowed to love someone, even if I'm loyal to that one person? I spoke about this question in the previous video. So the answer to this question was a bit of a weird one for me to process, to be honest. People started telling me of, have you ever thought of it as a spirit? So I remember the first time someone told me that. I went on this trip and I was like, do you say that I'm possessed? Is that what you're saying? That was like really like my question to them. I went on this whole trip. I was like, do you say that I'm possessed? Yeah. At the end of the day, it wasn't just the one person coming to me telling me, is it a spirit? Do you think it's a spirit? It can be a spirit. So I took it to God and I was like, God, please just give me clarity on this. This is now so confused. Am I possessed? If I'm possessed, or if there's an unclean spirit in me, not just possession, but if there's an unclean spirit in me, how do I get it out? What to do now? If it's a spirit, just please just give me the answers with it. I was so confused at that time. I remember it's just like coming back now, like I went on this whole panic trip. Anyway, but after talking to God about it and just like seeking God with clarity on this, at that time I was busy like in my own quiet time with God. Like I was reading the 4 Gospels, and just scriptures came out, not just while doing my study, my own personal quiet time, but also just social media, like Christian pages that I joined in churches, like, like images and stuff that they put up, came about spirits. And it started ringing me like, okay, God is answering me now with His word that there's unclean spirits around us, and these spirits can actually enter us. Now, the scriptures that I got, that God showed me through it, I'll put in the description below. So while reading the 4 Gospels, it just came out, like these scriptures just came out of nowhere from, like, just God made it so much more clearer for me, like these scriptures of that there's spirits making people lame, there's spirits of making people mute, there were spirits making people sick, there were spirits that actually like make people throw themselves onto the ground, having convulsions, etc. So, and not just in the 4 Gospels, there was a few other scriptures around in the Bible that just came up for me in regards with these unclean spirits and spirits that actually can enter our bodies. Okay, and that brought me to my second question of where did this door open for these spirits for the spirit to actually come into my life, and how they gain access to our lives, and actually find that stronghold and that handle on our lives. And now for me personally, I never got the answer to where the door opened for it in my life, but one thing I knew was that this door can be closed. And just examples of how these doors can be opened, through which things these doors can actually be open for us, as that it can come through generations, it can come through maybe a dramatic experience like molestation, can be through maybe experimenting with homosexual intimacy, maybe like pornography, even just thoughts, thinking about these things or fantasizing about these things. We open ourselves up to it, and that way these spirits can actually enter our bodies. However, like I said, I didn't really know where this door opened for myself, but I know that this door can be closed. During that time, I mentioned earlier that God sent amazing people. I'm so thankful for it, across my path, and they guided me to a process called deliverance, or to a thing called a deliverance prayer. And after they told me about this, I came home and I went onto YouTube and I looked at deliverance prayers and that process. And after watching those videos, I was scared. I'm just thinking now, I was like, what is this? But yeah, so I eventually went, and covering this whole deliverance prayer process that I went through will be in part number 5. I will cover that, my experience with it as well. Yeah, just to add on, I mentioned as well thoughts and entertaining our thoughts and fantasizing about these things. Paul tells us that, I'm going to add the verse as well, I can't get it from the top of my head now, but he tells us to keep our thoughts captive. Each and every thought we need to keep captive. And my third question that I had was that where does it come from and why does it exist in the world? The answer that I got from it was with the sinful, with Adam and Eve and what they did. And with the sinful, Satan was given some authority, because God put us on earth to take care and to rule over the world. But with the sinful, we took some of our authority and we gave it to Satan. I heard someone said, while I was struggling with this, I came across this one saying that someone said that the world is so full of sin that we don't even recognize it anymore. And 2 Corinthians 11 verse 14 says that, and no wonder, for even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. And then we're reaching the end now of part 3. I know this might be a bit of a long video, but I just want to close up with these scriptures that God has shown me as well with it, that talking a bit about this authority that was given to Satan. So in John 12 verse 31, Jesus referred to him as the ruler of this world. Ephesians 2 verse 2, Paul calls him the prince of the power of the air. And also in 2 Corinthians 4 verse 4, Paul refers to him as the God of this world. As we go a bit further, we see in 1 John 5 verse 19 that John, he makes a further distinction when he says that we know that we are from God, and the whole world is in the power of the evil one. So with these last few scriptures, I came to the realization that the enemy rules over the world, but God is still in control, and we can choose who, if the enemy is going to rule over us as well. And yeah, that's some of the major questions that I had, that God came and answered me and really had me at peace with my whole struggle. And yeah, and after I received these questions, there was like really just no looking back and just looking forward, keeping my eyes on God. And yeah, I hope these answers helped. I hope that it will help and encourage you as well. Please read the other scriptures also that's in the description below. And the next video, we're going a bit into the battlefield, if I can call it that. It's where I will talk a bit about how God helped me overcoming the temptations that came across my path, as well as conviction that I had, and how God helped me with that. So yeah, thank you for watching. To God be all the glory. God bless. Take care. Bye bye.